What is up? This is the War Dog. Welcome to Comic Book Theater with my guest host, JR. What is going on, JR?
How's it going, War Dog?
Oh, we're just hanging out. As you can see, having a good old time.
In the club.
You need us.
I was in the club, pocket full of butt. Anyway, so we've got two awesome guests. They are two of our friends on the Collector's Corner. Really awesome dudes, pretty knowledgeable, and they like to bitch and complain about a lot of things. And the first one I will announce is Shazam. What's up, Shazam?
What's up, bitches? Shazam, motherfuckers. First off, I gotta say, man, Bishop, you're not on this fucking podcast, so you can just pretty much eat a big bag of dicks, right? The day you get on this podcast, then we will have Todd eat the bag of dicks. But until then, you're eating a bag of dicks.
Those were some tasty dicks. And we got Brian Camilli.
Oh.
Show us that shirt, brother.
Yeah, man.
That's a pretty dope
Cape
shirt.
Cape and Cow. Go hit them up. Cape and Cow. I think they're out there. I think they're out there by you, out there in California. Shazam.
Did you say California?
California. There ain't no ass or snow out there in California.
Ashes? What? Oh my God! What? Like, okay, first of all, what's up with the hat? Second of all, Jeff,
It's cold. It's cold here.
But you got your motorcycle glasses
Yeah,
on.
His motorcycles.
I got my. Actually, these are my work glasses. I usually wear contacts, but I didn't really feel like it. But now that I know that if I wear my work glasses to go live, I'm gonna get ridiculed. I'll probably never wear them again. So,
No.
That's a good idea.
It's okay, because if I were to actually wear the glasses that I'm supposed to be wearing, I probably would have realized that those were actually fucking prescription glasses. But I'm not. I'm trying to fight the age, but I can't right here because you see the gray.
When I edit this, I'm gonna add the Informer song when I announce Brian. Informer.
no,
Sorry.
man, play some white dirty bastard.
All right. So, John, man, why don't you tell us what we're gonna talk about today?
Yeah, let's reel this in a little bit. Let's get back on the tracks here. Let's dive right in here. The hottest book on the market right now is 2 days old. And it has everything to do with Punchline and the speculation market on Punchline. So I'm going to just throw it out there to you guys and see what you think about it. My opinion on this is the hype is not real. All it's going to take is one change of the creative team. You'll never hear from Punchline ever again. That's my opinion, and I got a list of Batman books that backs that up. Now, the hype says she's the next Harley Quinn, and that Batman book is the next Batman Adventures 12. Now, I got another list as long as my arm of reasons why it's not that Batman 12, but I want to give you guys a chance to chime in and see what you think. What do you guys think on that, man? What's your opinion of Punchline, and what do you think about the long-term speculation value of her first appearance, second cameo, wherever the heck this Batman book is?
Well, honestly, like when it comes to her, I mean, it's like, to me, it's another one of those, like, red flashes, To me, I felt that one was actually, like, when it comes to, like, the Dark Knight Metal, I thought that was a really cool character. That one didn't take up as much as the Batman Who Laughs. Obviously, there's a big correlation when it comes to, like, Batman and the Joker, Those are the two little figures that we see fucking dancing throughout the decades. But when it comes to this, it was just like you said, I don't see it as another Batman Adventures 12, although I own a few of those copies. One of those is a French copy, thanks to you, my friend. I didn't see, because like lately with the DC stuff, it's just kind of like fizz and fazzle, It's like, yeah, it's big hype, and then it kind of just fazzles down until it was the last podcast that we had did with Corey, and he mentioned that no, it wasn't Amanda Waller. It was Mercy.
Mercy, yeah.
When he threw that in there, and then you see the similarities to the character, so okay, Mercy has a background already. She is cool. She you son of a bitch. You did get him, didn't you? But
I told you Corey wasn't gonna hold me.
Dude, let me jump in though, because I
okay.
read the book, and it's not Mercy. Actually, Punchline has got a
What do you
knife
mean?
to Mercy's throat. So Punchline is not Mercy.
I paid
Oh,
over
really?
$3 a piece
Yeah.
for these.
Well, you just got burned on $3.
Oh man.
You should
But
have
either
checked the
way-
collector app.
Right. You should have just keep. I mean, I don't like. We don't know, man, because because of the whole thing when it came out, you take like New 52, Court of Owls. Court of Owls is the hottest fucking shit. It really is a great story, awesome art, but there could have been so much more to it. But there isn't any much more to it, and it kind of fizzled and frazzled, right? It kind of like just fizzled away.
Interesting.
It's kind of like Tim Drake. Everybody loves Tim Drake. He's a better fucking detective than Batman and all that shit. But when it comes to his first issues, he's really not fucking getting all that much money on the speculator market for that shit. So it kind of it kind of like dwizzles within there. Yeah, it's a great character. It's cool. The hype is cool, but I have to go with some of these other fucking negative pus buckets on this shit. But we're gonna see that shit in fucking maybe not $1, man, but we're gonna see that shit fucking drop fucking hard with the next year. I guarantee you, Comic Tom is gonna fucking put this book, especially if you take the villains number 3, right? Especially even the dealer incentive one, which has the fucking cool King Shazam cover, which I love. I would love to have, but I'm not gonna pay that fucking price because it has to do with this character. But in 1 year, that's just going to drop to $15, $20. Guaranteed.
At the most. I think that 20 is the high end. I'm actually targeting more towards 10, to be honest.
Sounds like we lost John. John, we lost you there for a second, John.
John, you need to stop fucking getting your internet off of the fucking McDonald's fucking place right next to you, okay?
Augie Roca thinks that Harley
It's
should
Rocha,
be
motherfucker. Rocha, not Roca.
Roca.
We are Portuguese.
Is Rocha.
Yeah, Rocha.
He thinks it should be Harley's new girlfriend, not Joker's new girlfriend.
Oh, so we're going that way with this, huh?
That could be interesting. I can't say that I think that's a bad idea. I mean, that's kind of cool.
You know,
hold on. I'm going bad idea in a whole other direction. Go ahead, Todd.
So
casting couch.
What makes Harley Quinn more valuable than Punchline, in my opinion, is the fact that Harley Quinn can have her own book, right? And so unless Punchline has her own book, then I don't see her being the Harley Quinn value. She's just going to be like any of those other new villains that come along, and then the value just eventually fades, right? Now I will say this. I mean, take Totally Awesome Hulk 22, I think it is, with Weapon H. Now I know people are hating on Weapon H, but if a really good writer like Donny Cates took over Weapon H, all of a sudden, boom, that book could take off. So, I mean, the same thing I could be said with Punchline. If she got her own book like Harley Quinn and some good writer, I was talking to Carol Zera actually earlier, and she wrote Alien Toilet Monsters, and I told her what a great job she did. I mean, if a writer like Carol Zera was to take over a character like Punchline and write a great story, there is the possibility that she could take off. I don't know if we have John back.
I don't think so.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there he is.
Okay, cool. So this is my thinking on it is you're right to a certain extent, except for DC does not have the track record of doing that. When they change creative teams, whenever they go from New 52 to Rebirth, they just chuck all of those characters that they just created and don't use them again. Chris brought up Court of Owls. I was going to bring up Mr. Bloom for crying out loud.
Mr. Right. Oh my God, yes.
At one point, that was among the hottest books, and it had a good cover to it. but what have they done with him? They've done nothing with him since New 52 ended. Boom, gone. But it gets worse because, I mean, like Gotham Girl, that what they talked about making her a new Robin, but that didn't really go anywhere. So her first appearance hasn't done diddly poo. I mean, it's just, especially with Batman, it feels like they're throwing stuff against the wall, but nothing is sticking at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, bro.
Yeah, I would say, you know, I can't talk on the character too much because I didn't secure a copy. So everything that my opinion is based on just the looks of the character. Okay, the looks of the character are cool. Yes, to me, she's not cooler than Harley Quinn. She doesn't look cooler than Harley Quinn. She's not cooler than a Batman Who Laughs. That's a really cool character. Not even cooler than like your Cosmic Ghost Rider, a character that is written really well, but I don't really care for the character because they're ruining the legacy of a character that's one of my favorites, which is Frank Castle. But that's besides the point. My point is, unless they take this character and she's going to have to do something big, like she's going to have to yeet somebody big out of the universe, whether that be like yeet Harley, yeet some other big hero, Nightwing, somebody. It's going to have to be something big for that character to have any kind of like lasting staying power. Like, honestly, man, she's going to have to come out she's going to have to come thugged out. She's going to have to pull something to really be, because I mean, like, just compare it to like the Batman Who Laughs. Is she really that cool of a character compared to that? And even that, how much does the Batman Who Laughs have long-term staying power? You know what I mean?
I don't. It's a good question. It raises a good point. The staying power is what really Harley Quinn has over these other characters so far. This is the other reason why this newest Batman is not Batman Adventures 12. You guys got to remember, Batman Adventures 12 was not ordered by anybody. Not only was it not ordered by anybody, it was a kid's book. It was serious collectors at the time did not look at that book or even that entire series as anything that was worthy of being collected. Okay, so in that way, any copies that were out there almost immediately got shoved into the dollar bins, and then mom or dad might be at the comic store. It's not bagged or boarded or any of that stuff because, like I say, $1 or 50-cent bins. Mom or dad's like, "Here, kid, shut it. Go to the corner and read this Batman Adventures 12." And Junior's over there playing Twister with it. So that's the reason like high grade copies are so rare. It just is not it's one of the few modern books that is a key that nobody really took care of and nobody took serious. And I think that's what helps out the value of Batman Adventures 12. This Batman book, people are specking on it so hard that regardless of what the demand is, you're going to see everything pressed, cleaned, and graded. And so that market is going to be virtually non-existent.
I mean, I agree with you. The scarcity factor on Batman Adventures. I mean, I don't think you could really compare the two because, like you said, Batman Adventures was a kid's book that nobody thought of picking up, and it's on fire. This book, you know, the thing that really irks me about this book is Dan Didio gets fired, and I start seeing news articles that DC is struggling, and if this 5G fails, which it's their 5th generation reboot, if this fails, that DC might be in trouble. So now they introduce this Punchline character, and nobody's got copies. I go to my store, I can't get a copy, and I know some people will say, well, somebody went in there and bought 10 copies. That wasn't the case. Nobody ordered this book. Why not? That's one of the problems with DC and the comic book industry. Like,
they didn't push it. They didn't push it.
I suggested, like, you know, the comic shops, when they order this stuff, should have like a checkbox. Like, if something is really hot, check this box, and you take the risk, but we'll send you 10 extra copies. We won't tell you anything about it, but we'll send you 10 copies so that you have it for the people that actually come into your store, like, every day. Because, I mean, think about it. Like, how many copies of this book would have sold? Like, I don't walk into the comic book store thinking about speculating. I walk in and I'm like, I want the first appearance of this comic book. And
yeah, it's a new character. You want yeah. So no, I didn't get issue 1 and 2 of Hell Arisen, and I wasn't following the Tinian. Nothing against him, but I tapped out on Tom King a while ago, and I didn't add Batman for the Tinian series yet because A, I have a coworker that I can read his copy because he's getting them, and B, why do we have to I don't like if they know that they're going to have a first appearance drop, the publishers know they can get with these retailers in advance and tell them, yeah, this is going to be a first appearance. It's going to end up being a hot book. They can help each other out, work together. You want to get more sales. Would you rather sell an extra 20, 30, 60,000 copies of a book at cover price? Or do you want to sell your little 10 and 20 here and there at your stupid $25 for a brand new book on the day it comes out and piss off most of your customers? It's to me, it's not that I'm pissed about it, right? Because I get it. They're doing what they got to do. But at the same time, is it really worth it, man? Is it really worth that $25 a pop? Like, if, let's say that book didn't have a first appearance in it and it didn't become hot, it would have just been business as usual and they would have been cover price. So what are they really gaining except for, you know, pissing off the industry? And that's not any one person involved in this pyramid. It's the whole shebang. Like, nobody's communicating. I don't know.
Well, there's no cooperation. That's what I was getting ready to say before. Is there should be cooperation between an LCS and a publisher. And that's what Todd was saying too. With at least having a box that you can check on the order that says, if there's an event happening, send me 5 extra copies above what I ordered. And yes, I know I'm assuming risk on that, but you know, it's not going to be as bad of an idea as if somebody had, well, like what's happening now, where there's so much demand that nobody can get a copy unless they go on eBay and drop $25, $30, $50 for this book.
Yeah, I'm not
that we all know
that.
Is going to be a
okay.
Book. I'm not.
Hold on. Okay, first of all, the demand was created by us. Okay, it was created by the Collector's Corner, everybody else that was coming out. That's where the demand was fucking brought. You guys need to remember that as far as Warner Brothers and that whole subsidiary, that was bought by AT&T not too long ago. We're talking like maybe a year, less than a year ago. They don't give a fuck about the comic book industry. All they are is looking at for fucking numbers, all right? So when it came out to this whole Punchline thing, this was not a last-ditch effort. This was like, hey, let's get some people fucking interested before we hit the 5G, or as me and Brian let's call it, the Hindenburg. But it's because it's not gonna fucking it don't mean shit. It really fucking doesn't. All right. This is another character, just like John said. It's not gonna have that fucking that thing that Hardy did, because Hardy was out of the blue. Hardy was an animated character, and then DC just said, hey, you know what? We're just gonna put her into the continuity and fuck it. And she took off. Why? Because she was the first of her kind. This Punchline, she's the third, fourth, fifth of her fucking kind.
Yeah.
Granted, she is cool, all right, but she ain't as cool as Red Dash. She ain't as cool as the Joker who laughs, all right.
She's not as cool as the Joker's daughter, which.
Oh, right. Oh my God, you hit the nail on the head on that shit. But that shit didn't take off Why? Because AT&T doesn't give a shit about what's really going on with this shit. Because their whole thing right now is because it's a conglomerate. They've got it. All they want to do is build it up. They're gonna sell it. If Marvel takes it, which goddamn I hope they fucking do. I hope Disney fucking takes it because then it'll give us those cool crossovers we want and all that bullshit. But at least it'll have a little more fucking. I mean, because Marvel's out selling DC fucking was like 14-1 right now on the last statistics.
Disney's not going to take DC. They gain nothing. They gain.
They will. They will just because it makes fucking money. Maybe not as much money as Marvel, but Marvel is only making 14-1 against fucking DC titles that are actually fucking sold. All right, so we have to look at it in the business aspect, not as a collector and a reader aspect and shit like that. Because of comic, I mean, everybody's got all these reboots and all that shit. I mean, shit, we've got this fucking Hindenburg coming on right now with this fucking 5G, which is why Dan Didio got fucking fired because New 52 was his baby. He brought it back. He was okay. This is what we're gonna do. This is everybody right here. This is how we're gonna do it. It ran for a little while, and then fucking AT&T came in. They bought it out, and then they had their guys come through, and they're like, "Oh, well, we don't really think it's a good idea." So, boom! Now we got this whole new rebirth going on, which Dan Didio was very, very, very much against, even though his ideas were kind of cool. New 52. Rebirth was kind of cool too, but mixing it all together, it's just like those two weren't fucking mixing. Those two, Dan Didio in particular, was not mixing with everybody else with this new fucking venture they want to go on. Whether it's going to work or not, we don't know. I still think it's a Hindenburg because as us, me, you, John, Brian, we're collectors. We're tired of the reboots, aren't we? Even when it comes to movies, we are tired. We're tired of the origin stories. It's just like fuck, we know it. All right, yeah. And us four right here, we are the market. We are that demographic. We're 40 and John's a little bit plus.
Well, but Todd's 60. Todd's 40, so
40 and plus on that demographic.
Let me out of this.
Look, Higgins.
Hey, wait. So you mentioned 5G, and when you talk about AT&T and you say 5G, what are you thinking? So
I think cell phone, by the way.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking when I first saw it too.
Okay, all right.
Can we explain 5G? Can one of you guys explain it?
Yeah, I'll explain it right now. Okay. What John just said is how I first envisioned it. 5G. Okay, we're talking about cell phone. No, it's not. This is a whole new rebranding, a whole new rebirth that they want to do, and they're calling it 5G. This is AT&T's fucking logo right there, and it's being incorporated into DC. Basically, all it is they're gonna just restart from fucking zero again.
Yeah.
Do we really want that? Especially as DC fans. You know Batman's story. I know Batman's story. He knows Green Lantern. Speaking of Green Lantern, the only fucking line that has fucking stayed true through the New 52 and even before New 52 and Rebirth was Green Lantern. That's the only thing that held the continuity together. But they always kind of like put that shit aside. It's honestly, man, like me and Brian said, it's
they're gonna try. They're gonna try and flip it and bounce it. They're gonna try and rebrand it. They're gonna try and diversify it to bring in this new, fresh crowd that doesn't exist. For you're marketing a comic and you're marketing your line to an audience that does not exist. They're not there. They're not coming to buy the comics. They're never there on New Comic Book Day. I never see anybody walking around on New Comic Book Day that I've never seen before, walking around going, "Oh, you know what? I wish that Luke Fox was Batman." It's not happening. Like, these people are not here. And the few people that are on Twitter and on social media saying that they want this and they want that, those people are just they're not buying comics, man. They're just trying to stir shit. You know, if you want to do something, why? We just had a Justice League movie, right? You had Cyborg you had Cyborg in the movie, right? Why is there not
Action.
why is there not a Cyborg comic, right?
They
You know,
all
why is there not a cyborg
missed the
comic?
boat on
Like
that.
nothing. They don't.
Well, and I,
They're
honestly, look, I was listening to the
The diversity's there, man.
critically podcast on Facebook, and they were bringing this up that their marketing is all backwards. You have franchises that are pulling in billions with a B dollars in these movies, and only occasionally will you see on opening night them do a giveaway of a comic book. You never see in the trailers anything to do with any of the comic books or saying, hey guys, all of this is source material is over here in these comic books. Why don't you check out your local comic store? Here's a comic shop finder. You put the QR code in there. It takes 30 seconds. And instead of that, what they're doing is they're putting those ads for the movies and the TV shows in the freaking comic books. Okay, that's totally backwards. If you want to bring them in and refresh, like you're talking about, you never see anybody who's new, somebody you don't know for New Comic Book Day. You want to bring those people in, you have to get what people call the casuals. You got to get the casuals involved, the people who are I know Marvel history because I've seen all the MCU movies. You got to get those people into the shops.
Yeah,
if you're not getting them into the shops, then what's the point? Because look, the only other thing that I will say about the comic book industry right now, I personally think that floppies are on their way out. The individual monthly, I'm telling you, man, we live in a society that is a binge culture. Netflix, you binge it. You watch an entire season.
That's true, Todd. Me and you, we do this, man. We do this religiously.
That's what I'm saying. So, but what I'm saying is, floppies are on the way out. The printing labels, DC, Marvel, Image, the ones that are going to be successful long term, will all start to shift towards graphic novels.
Yeah,
where the entire story, I'm telling you, man, because I'll tell you right now, the other thing too is, go look at what the best selling per unit right now are trade paperbacks, and they're trade paperbacks. They're be put out by Scholastic, and they're people. I think it's like Dogman or something like that. It's something that I'd never heard of. It's a Scholastic
Dogman,
title.
yeah.
You've heard of that?
Dogman
You've heard
Comics.
of that?
Yeah, I see.
There
I
you
saw
go.
the meme. I see the meme of the kid that got in trouble at school. He has to fill out the attitude adjustment report, and he's talking about, I got in trouble for printing out Dogman Comics. My teacher, and then other students, where he scratched that part out and put teachers were freaked out because I was printing up copies of Dogman Comics. Yeah,
Dude,
I've heard of it.
Dude, you have a phone. I mean, you can show that to us as you're talking about it.
I'm actually looking at the chat here. The general consensus right now from the chat is, as far as the new character
Punchline I don't know who the fuck Robin Masters is. Okay.
Hey,
the general consensus is they don't feel like Punchline is gonna be long term.
Let me just throw another question at you guys, because so they're doing this 5G reboot, right? And I mean, how many times can Batman fight the Joker before you kind of get sick of it, right?
Never.
The Joker's for eternity.
The Joker might be a bad example, right? But I mean, how many times can these same fights happen? How many times can the Riddler and Batman? I mean, so I think with this whole 5G, what they're trying to do is come up with ways to freshen that up a little bit. And, I mean, I guess one way would be to actually change the villains and make, you know, the Joker Superman's villain, for instance, or something. But I mean, do you think these can continue, and how long? Now, I will say, I will make one point contrary to what I'm saying. Like, the Immortal Hulk is so well written that, you know, the Hulk's done many things for many years, but because we have a great storyteller telling the story, we get a great story. You know, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
100%. I will say that, and this is unequivocally because I am not a Hulk fan, but I when reading Immortal Hulk, completely enamored with the story and the art, both the covers, the interior, the whole nine. So this is my whole point: is if you give us good stories, if you give us art that is objectively good art, not subjectively
with some heart
good
in
art.
it, with some heart,
We,
not some phoned
yeah,
in,
yeah.
not some I'm gonna phone it in
Don't
and
phone
get
it
my little
in.
paycheck and go home.
Right. And you can't fall back on lazy storytelling. We don't want filler issues. I would rather have a 12-issue arc that is a masterpiece
Yeah,
than have a 50-issue arc that has 12 solid books in that 50. Do you see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
You can tell when somebody's putting heart into something, even if it's not, you know, everybody loves it. Like you got a lot of people that love Rob Liefeld's art, and then he's got all his haters. But one thing you can't say is that when you look at something that he's done, that he didn't put heart into it. You know what I mean? You can tell there's heart in it. It's not just phoned in. You know, you might not like the way he does his anatomy or whatever, but you could tell. But you can also tell, man, like that artwork in Avengers No Surrender was just heartless. Like that was just, I don't care. I just want to get my money and move on to the next project they give me. It just don't.
You know, though, you brought up Rob Liefeld. You still feel like he's got that heart? Like, I mean, I look at his covers and now it's not the same.
It's not what we would like to defend.
I wouldn't say that it's without heart. Now, does somebody get comfortable? Yeah, but I think he still has. I still think he puts his heart into it.
You can't have heart without art.
I'll put it like this. I'll put it like this. Okay, there are aspects of Rob Liefeld's art that I will never like. I will never appreciate. I also don't enjoy the fact that he revels in the fact that his figures are anatomically incorrect. Like, he's like, I've never been formally trained. I don't know anything about anatomy. Art.
I'm gonna make this arm as big as a leg.
Yes. The other thing that I don't like about Rob Liefeld is I don't like the way that he treated the people with his Kickstarter. So I'm going to hold that against him. I'm gonna hold that against him because I know dudes like Todd are killing themselves to get his dream funded. Rob Liefeld goes out there and steals money from people based on his reputation and his existing name, but steals money from people. And that's money that if people were really looking for an investment in something, they should be looking at stuff like The Crew. And that's a shameless plug there. I'm not ashamed of it at all.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, if you give more money to Rob Liefeld through any other means, it's on you. You know how he is. Okay.
That crowdfunding, any crowdfunding campaign, it has to be understood that is a bond of trust between consumer and creator. There's no more middleman to blame. There's no more other company to blame. So when you break that bond, you break that trust, it can be forever. They're not going to come back, man. They're not going to come back for issue 2. They're not going to come back for issue 3. Once, you catch that lightning in a bottle and then you don't deliver, man, it's going to be devastating for you. I'm telling you. So, you can live by the sword, die by the sword.
So
But
now, one
that's
thing I
but
will say that go ahead. Go ahead,
that,
Chris.
no, that is a fucking a beautiful analogy on that one. John knows I am. Well, I was the biggest live filled. Pretty much, like anything he did, I loved it. Whatever his latest covers, I cannot defend that shit. That was just sloppy. That was fucking terrible. That was like what
It's
the fuck. In the '90s, in my '90s mind, I loved his work. It was splash page after splash page after splash page. It was great. It's what we wanted. It was X Force. It was fucking. It was Youngblood. It was fucking. It was cool. But even during the Image years, we realized that he got real sloppy. Like when we all rated when they did the Image and Valiant crossover, right? We waited for his thing. We had fucking Youngblood and we had Bloodshot on the cover. Rob Liefeld, boom! You got 8-9 pages in, and he stopped doing it. It was somebody else. It was like, well, what? Well, what the fuck? And he's still doing that. Me more personally, because I'm from Southern California. I am from Orange County, California. All right. Rob Liefeld considerably is one of my homeboys. All right. He's from Orange County, California, and I supported him even when we were in the early stages of the Collector's Corner and CBCF and all that bullshit. All right. I held his back until the fucking Kickstarter. All right. When I seen that, I didn't back that shit. I was a Big Brigade fan. Honestly, I'm a more Stormwatch fan, Jim Lee, Backlash. But it was still Rob Liefeld. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it to the benefit of the doubt. And then he burned everybody. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Not only did I feel more like more offended by it, but I feel more offended by it because I backed this motherfucker. Like me and you, John, used to go back and forth on the fucking on the chat. Like, oh, he's okay. Yeah, the feet, whatever the fuck, man. All right.
Hey,
in the '90s, we loved his shit. Now his shit is fucking excusable. The fucking and then the shit with the Kickstarter, unfucking excusable.
so
Okay, it's like he's irrelevant. You take a look at Jim Lee, right? Jim Lee just did that Wolverine #1, all right? Classic Jim Lee, nothing special. Jim Lee, what we like, what we love. How much is that book selling for right now on eBay? 100 fucking plus. Classic Jim Lee, nothing special. Jim Lee, what we love. Can Rob deliver on that shit? Fuck no, he can't, man. And it hurts me right here because he is a homeboy and I backed him fucking to the fucking fullest. If I see him at another con, I'll fucking smack him in the fucking face.
That bond is broken, and it can't. It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be repaired, man.
Absolutely.
Wait, Chris, can we
And
get
yeah,
an Chris? Can
but-
we get an Odelay?
Orale.
No,
But
like
number
Southern
one-
California Odelay.
Orale.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Well, you got the wrong race for that, buddy. But I'll try my best. Orale.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Man,
Yeah,
Todd,
too.
we're gonna have to
No,
scrub
but-
this
but-
video now, man.
But even then, I will smack because number one, I know that fool can't whoop me. I will fucking I will talk shit to him. I will fucking put him down. I don't give a fuck what table he's at.
It's
He's
gonna
a
be a
bitch.
cage match. It's gonna be Christopher Sam Silva
And
Rob
I will
Feld.
win.
In a cage match. We're gonna have a ladder match.
I love his early '90s work, man. It was great. His later shit, man, like he's living off his fucking name and he hasn't delivered.
He's
take
getting
people
Frank Miller bad. That's how bad he's
Oh.
getting. He's getting Frank Miller bad as far as like
Almost.
phoning stuff in.
But then, you take people that are just as old as him from that start. McFarlane kicking out bang ass shit, right? Jim Lee kicking out bang ass shit. What we love, nothing spectacular, nothing fucking new. What we love,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, see-
And it's just like, and then he let this go to his fucking head. I guarantee you, man, if he ever approaches me, I will fucking give him the fucking backhand, like I was Samuel L. Jackson. He's a piece of fucking shit. Plain and fucking
So,
simple.
This is what
he is a dick.
Jim Lee is a
And because
pure
I'm from Orange
artist.
County
though.
and I represent that shit, I have the authority to fucking smack him in his fucking mouth till he bleeds like Tombstone.
Hey, There you go, man. There you go. Shazam. That's what it is right there.
Shazam, bitches.
This is what
He's
I will
heating
say
up.
is why
And
we like
it
it.
all
So,
it all came down to just his Kickstarter, really, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, I mean, I'm a Brigade fan. I am. I like it. I mean, I'm more of a Stormwatch fan, but I like Brigade too. I like his early work, and when he did that, and then he burned everybody, bro.
right. Well,
You
but
know,
see, this,
I don't care what he says, what he does. He already burned everybody.
You got-
It is no different than if anybody was in the collector's corner and they burned somebody on a
Oh,
commission or they were
the
copying.
door.
We
You
would
get
fucking
put on blast.
All right,
exactly.
all right. This is starting to sound like The View.
Oh, watch it. Watch it.
We sound
Who
like
am
The
I?
View here.
I'm Whoopi. I'm Whoopi.
Who am
I was going to say, I look nothing like Whoopi
No, I want to
Goldberg.
be Whoopi. Come on, man.
So,
I love Dynasty.
You could be Whoopi this time, but I want to be Whoopi
So-
next time.
Star Trek fan. Hello,
All
I'm
right.
Diamond.
All right.
So,
Let's
real
get
quick.
to John in this one.
real quick, and this is something that I'm going to kind of wrap it up and be a little defensive about Liefeld's art. You see the background here of this classic Neil Adams cover. This action around Superman is what guys like Todd McFarlane and guys like Jim Lee and guys like Rob Liefeld in the 90s, they tapped into this somehow, and they didn't full replicate it, but they put their own spin on replicating it. So it's the action that we were all drawn to as teenagers, and Todd in his 30s, since it was the 90s. But you know what I'm saying? That we were drawn to that action, that pop. That's why the stuff he did in the 90s was so appealing. Regardless of whether it was anatomically correct, we loved the motion of it. And like Brian was saying before, there really truly is an emptiness to some of this art that's going on right now. Everybody looks stationary.
Right.
Everybody.
I got something to say about that shit right there, man.
Hey, Don writes something interesting here. He says, would Rob have been so popular if he would have been surrounded by so many epic other creators and artists?
I don't think so.
Oh, man. I mean, no, yeah. When you get like Jim Lee, Silvestri, Larson, you know, those dudes are epic.
Don't discount him. Don't discount.
He's cool. He's cool.
On
but you ain't no Jim Lee, Larson, or McFarlane.
No.
Damn fucking sure. Or Silvestri. Come on, man. Silvestri's artist sexy. Early Campbell, Gen 13. That shit is sexy.
Dude, John and I were talking about wrestling before we started this show.
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld has got that personality. And Bishop was on a show with us before, and Bishop made a good point that Rob likes playing that villain role. And I think Rob's personality also helped his artwork as well. You know, you look at the past, you know, you look at like when he was younger and they made videos, you've seen some of Rob's personality as a kid. And I think that kind of attracted people as well. I mean, John, what are your thoughts, man?
So these are the two examples that I will always bring to the forefront, that Todd McFarlane was an absolute godsend to Rob Liefeld's career. One is, it's all over YouTube. You can go look it up. When Stan Lee has Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane, because one's right-handed, one's left-handed, they drew Overkill for an interview session. Todd took the left hand, and Rob took the right hand, and they eventually Image turned it into Overt Kill. They added the T and brought him over to Image with Spawn. But you see them drawing him, and Stan is ripping them a new one the whole time, both of them, but especially Rob. And occasionally during this, you gotta watch the whole thing. Occasionally during this, you'll see Todd, because again he's left-handed, come over to Rob's side and fix something, and then go back to his side.
Wait,
and that's
who did that? Who fixed it?
Todd McFarlane was fixing Rob's side because, again, what they did is they split him down the middle. They split overt kill down the middle, and Todd's over here drawing this side.
And then
Rob's
he's
over here
fixing-
drawing this side, and he's over here occasionally fixing something
That's
and
great.
then coming back to his side. And I'm not messing around. That happened. I watched that interview, and I'm like, that's amazing that Todd's doing this. I think at the very end of the interview, Todd goes ahead because he's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Now that's
amazing.
one thing. The other thing is I don't think people give Todd McFarlane enough credit for helping to create Cable. That cover for New Mutants 87 is Liefeld, but you look on that cover, it's got a McFarlane tag too. So don't skip over the fact that McFarlane had a big hand in that final product of that cover that makes it so iconic.
So McFarlane inked it.
Well, but dude, okay, and I'll put it this way for sure. I've had art done that was penciled and inked by one person and colored by another person, and I'm telling you right now, going from the pencils to the inks to the colors, it literally, you could see the transition into the final piece. The colorist even helped to bring that piece to its final, wow, that's awesome. The pencils initially, even though he had tightened them up, the inking it saved a lot too. Because
Yeah, man.
The inker's like,
the Wolverine
that doesn't really
mini,
fit that way.
The Wolverine mini that we all love, the Wolverine mini series, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That mini series, those covers, those would not be the legendary covers that they are if it wasn't for Rubenstein's inks.
Well,
because if you look at the rough sketches before Rubenstein gives it the treatment,
Rubenstein.
Oh man, and look at that. Yeah, he really is amazing. I like his attitude too.
No,
he's great when you meet him. He's
this is
the
one and only you'll ever see this character on an Arrow cover from Rubenstein.
Stan Lee was judging Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. Well, Stan Lee's not an artist, right? So I mean, wouldn't it be
right there? I was waiting for someone to bring that up.
Wouldn't it be better if it was like Jack Kirby judging them? And then we've got a lot of Rob Liefeld hate going on. And look, I understand anybody that got into that Kickstarter should hate on him, and I don't respect that at all. But I mean, Rob did do some good things for the comic book industry.
Oh, 100% he did, man. 100% he did. When it came from X-Force #1, all the different variants that you have right there, yes, it was awesome, and it was Rob Liefeld. That right there, that X-Force is what we got geared for when we saw Youngblood. Youngblood came out, awesome, beautiful. And as it kept going on, we kept saying, oh, yes, this is awesome. And then we started seeing he was doing covers, and then other people were doing it. We got exposed to other people like Norm Rutman. What's that dude? Yep did a lot of cover for him too. But he kind of like fizzled. He fizzled out. Even when it came down to like the height of Image, right? The height of Image was the Image and Valiant crossover when they had the Red come out, which is that cool ass fucking cover of Bloodshot and fucking I forgot his name, fucking the guy from Youngblood on there, Shaft on the cover, dude. Boom, he did the cover. He did 9 fucking pages, and I remember as a kid, I wanted this comic so bad because he did it. And as I'm reading through it, I'm like, well, what the fuck just happened here? Because he stopped doing it after 9 pages. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Don't get me wrong, man. I love Rob Liefeld. I love his earlier shit. I love the shit he created. It is fucking awesome, right? I will always love that. All that extreme shit, it is fucking spectacular. But when it comes down to now, where we are now, because we all of us are that age demographic, all right? I guarantee you, we couldn't afford all those fucking like crazy ass fucking dealer incentives and shit like that. But now we can. And we get it, but then we see what he has done. You take what Silvestri has done, right? Silvestri, Honestly, it don't matter what the fuck Sylvester's done, man. From Cyberforce, whatever, it is beautiful. It is awesome. You love it. All right. Same thing. Eric Larson. Eric Larson has even outdone fucking Todd McFarlane when it comes to like all of his issues of Savage Dragon that he actually illustrated himself, not somebody else. Because after so many issues of Spawn, somebody else like Capullo and all that shit. Don't get me wrong. Spawn is bad. Spawn is awesome. McFarlane. I swear to God, man, if he was right here right now, I'd whip it out and make fucking John suck it. But it was just, it's awesome, right? It really is.
If it's gonna be that kind of party, I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed
The
potatoes.
God damn, Brian, I love you. But that's the type of shit that I'm talking about, though. It's just like everybody that we love, because we are that age demographic. We got Jim Lee, we got Rubenstein, you know, all that. And then you want to go those guys, you go back to the earlier shit. Like when it comes to
Elitist.
When it comes to like Kirby, okay? I gotta admit, I am a kid of the 90s. I didn't know too much about him, all right? Until very, very recently. They started releasing some Kirby covers. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I saw the Thor #1 cover that they did for it was like a Kirby release. Jesus Christ, that cover was fucking beautiful. It was simplistic. It was beautiful. It was awesome.
Dude,
And
take your Kirby covers, put them in Mylars, like crystal clear Mylar bags, and
It-
look at them, put them on the wall,
they're
or
fucking
put them far
beautiful,
away from
right?
you, like step like 5 feet back, and I swear
I have some.
they look
and they-
3D, man. They
I-
turn 3D.
I had to like dig through some of my old copies, and I was looking at some old Captain Americas, and I had some old Kirby Captain Americas. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this fool's a fucking master, man. Him, Kirby, George Perez. Jesus fucking Christ, right? That's what we grew up on, fellas. And then as a transition, we had Jim Lee, which is it's Jim Lee, man. It's a household name. That's just like Forrest Gump. Okay? GS, his shit is awesome. His shit is fucking cool. Then you got Silvestri, you know, okay, Wolverine #50, die cut, yellow, secret looking origins, Silvestri cover. Everybody loves that fucking book.
Yeah.
Honestly, Silvestri is, for me, Silvestri is pound for pound the greatest artist to ever touch Wolverine. Like nobody draws Wolverine
Right.
better than Silvestri.
Sam Keith,
the covers,
Sam
the interiors.
Okay,
I lo-
right. Let's talk Sam Keith. I am not a Sam Keith fan. But when Sam Keith came out and he did the fucking, you know, darker image and he did the Max, how awesome was that? Really? How awesome was that? Sam Keith, like, I mean, I'm not a fan of his type of art, but when it came to that shit, he made me a fan.
When I was a kid, I enjoyed seeing Sam Keith's cover. I mean, I think it was Marvel Comics Presents that I seen a lot of. His
Oh yeah,
covers.
yeah, dude.
But-
Yeah.
But
Wow.
to get back onto our
I
topic,
need some of those.
I love Sam Keith's Marvel Comics Presents covers,
ju-
but for me, like the quintessential, like, man, and when I think Wolverine, I think Silvestri's art. It's just, you know,
So I'll tell you guys though, just again another shameless plug. I'm doing a top 10 of artist first works in comics. You guys are naming quite a few. The only one you haven't named yet is like Bernie Wrightson. His first
Oh.
dude. There's another one who just like blows you away with the composition and stuff. But
the detail, Bernie Wrightson detail is
Yes.
ridiculous. Like he's
Yes.
putting like the titles on books on a bookshelf. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Not only that, but what about Eric Larson? Eric Larson picked up from those greats that we just named, but he kept the momentum going, and he created a name for himself. Not only did he have the Savage Dragon that came out, but that's the only, and he surpasses Todd McFarlane for every issue that has ever come out that was illustrated by him himself. You know, I mean, Larson, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big Savage Dragon fan, but Eric Larson's his run on Spider-Man his run on. I mean, all that shit. Hey, you know what? He deserves that shit. He really fucking does. And I mean, as much as I love Todd, Todd will always be the Todd father. Jim Lee will always be a wife stealer, but that's another Silicon podcast right there. But I mean, their art is phenomenal. But when it comes to Rob, I mean, as much as I love him, he's the homeboy and all that shit. If I see him in the streets, I'm gonna smack him in the mouth like Wyatt Earp, dude. Fucking.
Yeah. You can't break that bond, man. That crowdfund can make you or break you. I'm telling you right now, man. It will make you or break you.
Crowdfunding, right?
So,
hey, you know what? Okay,
look at Polito.
All right,
Look at Polito.
Let's reel this one in here a little bit. All right.
Look at what he's built with it, right?
I get you.
He even
but
has,
that's
he
Brian
even has
Polito, though.
he even has top-notch customer service. If you get something that's bad, I mean, you're not having to fight with anything, no questions asked. He has you destroy it, show him proof that you destroyed it. He's sending you out another one right away. This is how you do it, man. That is how you do it.
Well, let me give a shout out to probably an artist that some people don't know, Joel Gomez. Love that dude. He's done the Lamorza stuff.
Yeah.
And
Joel's a shit,
I seen Troy Hudson post something about Joel Gomez. I want to give a shout out, Joel. I love your stuff. Let's go back to this whole DC thing because with this 5G, I mean, do you think that this will reinvigorate DC fans? I mean, what should DC do? So let's say John, Brian, and whatever your name is down there, Shazam. Shazam. Oh, sorry. So we'll start with John. Like,
fucking friend, you son of a bitch.
If you were running DC Comics, I mean, where do you think the revival would happen? What would you do?
Okay, so you're giving us carte blanche. We're the editor in chief at DC Comics. What we say goes. The first thing I'm not doing a reboot, but I'm bringing back DC Presents, and that's where I'm launching some new characters that are teaming up with somebody like Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman or the Flash or the Green Lantern. Newer characters that you can bring alongside, maybe not necessarily as a sidekick, but a quick team up. Get them involved and have them write a 2 or 3 part series to see if that character will stick. Again, good art, good writing, people are going to gravitate towards that. And if you have good new original characters, look, man, Naomi is a perfect example. People were liking the way Naomi,
example.
Well, that's why I say it was a good example of she was being written well, the art was good, original character, and then they flub it at the very end, and they're like, there's not a real payoff. She becomes a derivative of existing characters.
That was a cop out.
What's the point? Man. That's exactly right. It's not a fulfilling ending. It's absolutely, like you say, it's a cop out ending to what should have been a great.
To what
hey
could
guys,
have been.
We're doing what could have been, but yes, you have to do new characters, but you got to do them the right way. And so that's where I go personally. The other thing that I do is I start really heavily investing in trade papers and trying to move a bunch of trade paperbacks because, again, I don't think floppy. I love you guys. I hope to God that I'm wrong because I love floppies. But honestly, I see in the next 3 to 5 years, floppies being phased out almost completely.
I think you're right on that. Everybody wants to just read the whole story, like Netflix. They want to binge it. I'm doing that right now with certain issues, and it's just like I want to binge it. I want to see what's going on, and then see what goes from there. Because then from there it goes to the actual floppy.
So you're not a cover whore. I am a cover whore.
It depends on the artist.
Yo, let's stay on topic here. So Shazam, you spoke up next. I mean, so you're running DC, and I know you're a Shazam fan, and I know you're a fan of a lot of DC stuff. I mean, I love the Flash and Reverse Flash. What would you do?
Okay, first off with this 5G shit, I would fucking scrap that shit. Do you know Batman's background story, Todd?
Yeah. His parents got killed by killed.
Do you know Superman's?
Yeah. The
Krypton something alien
Okay,
thing?
John, do you know Flash's background story?
He's giving side language. He's
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I was trying to sign. Hey,
Okay,
we're
John
diverse around here, man.
basically everybody knows all of these because these DC characters, aside from Marvel, these are the root of all comic book characters. Everybody knows where the fuck Superman, Flash, everybody came from. This 5G shit, that's fucking bullshit. They tried that shit with what's his fuck over in the New 52. Some of them were good. Honestly, I love the Phantom Stranger that what's his fuck what's his name? Not Paul, not Paul Dini. The guy just got fired, but he wrote that shit. I loved it. But everybody knows this shit. When it comes out to the movies, we know this shit. Yeah. Bruce Wayne's parents got killed, whatever. He turned into a fucking psychopath, want to kill all the fucking villains. We know this shit. This fucking G5 shit, all it is rehashing it. When I first grew up, all right, and I was collecting comics, I wasn't a DC fan. I was a Marvel fan. That's right when Jim Lee started for X-Men, Tom McFarlane started for Spider-Man, then we transitioned over into Marvel. I knew all that shit, okay? I loved Marvel. I loved X-Men. I loved fucking, Omega Red. I loved fucking, Gambit, all that shit. When I got back into comics, I wanted to go back to what I knew, Marvel. I didn't know where to jump in because they had so many reboots. I didn't know how to start it. I wasn't really a Spider-Man fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Spider-Man. He's a cool character. But I was an X-Men fan. I was, and I didn't know where to jump in. X-Force was fucking. So I went back to DC. DC actually kind of started because of a video game shit, but that's a whole other story. But DC was congruent. The only thing that has been congruent and consistent throughout this whole fucking thing, we're talking like Black Knight, New 52, was Green Lantern. That's the only thing. The stories, the continuity was all the same. Everything else is kind of changed. If DC wants to go with this new, we're gonna reboot everything and all that shit, okay, I guess if you want to get these new fucking buyers, but let's be honest, who's talking about this shit? Me, Todd, John, Brian. How old are we? We're all about within our 40s, except for freaking John. He's probably 78.
Something like that.
And none of us are crazy about it.
But it's not bringing in any new
but see, that's the thing. We know this shit, but we are the money-making demographic. Okay? When it comes to if you were to tell me right now that DC is coming out, when DC came out with a brand new Freedom Fighters, I am a big fucking fan of Justice Society, Freedom Fighters. I was the first one on board. I have every issue. I have every variant. I have everything. You ask me a question about Freedom Fighters, I can tell you what happened, what issue, whatever the fuck it happened. But when it comes to the other shit, and then Batman too, I don't want to say I'm not a Batman fan. I do like the Batman family. I think Batman himself is a dick, but that's just what they kind of built it up into. I'm a big Nightwing fan. I am a big fucking Tim Drake fan. You know, I love all that shit, but like even now with the new 52 and then Batman and Robin and everything just intertwining, we kind of lose track. And then now, and it's the same thing that they have with Marvel. That's why I did not jump on with Marvel because like when I got back in the comic book, the thing I was like, where's Marvel at? I want to see where's X Men. Where's this? Oh, X Men are dead. Well, fuck them then. Okay, where's Spider Man? Oh yeah, we got a black guy over here. Well, what is he? Spider Man 2099? I like him. No, he's not. It's this guy Miles Morales. Well, I don't know him. Fuck him. What's up with DC? The only thing that got me back into DC was a video game. I watched a video game like Hal Jordan, and I was never into DC. I never was as a kid. And then I'm like, oh, Green Lantern, that's cool. Captain Marvel. Mortal Kombat versus DC is what got me into Captain Marvel.
So,
Really?
So
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's cool.
when you were a kid,
Yeah, like I'm watching it and I'm playing it with me and my brother. We're going heads up, right?
I have it still on PS3.
Yeah.
I still have my.
Oh, what's up, man? Fucking dude, I will fucking smash you with.
Nah,
shit,
man. I'll use Arrow, and you'll get yeeted.
No, you're talking about PlayStation 4. I'm talking with the original one. Mortal
I have that
Kombat.
one on 2, on 3. Who's the character I like on there?
Dude,
Probably Superman.
It don't matter. You
and
just
Flash.
stuttered. You just stuttered.
Hey,
will
real quick,
smash-
I gotta throw
be-
in I gotta throw in
Baby,
Cam's
baby,
comment
baby,
real quick.
baby.
Cam commented the only reason Batman is still alive and fights crime is because Deathstroke allows it. You suck, Batman.
Hey,
Love Cam,
no,
dude.
he
Love
is
Cam.
100% right. Because the only time Batman was ever to take Deathstroke, he had to have help. He could never take him alone.
yo,
He had to have help.
so Shazam, so like I said before, you went on this rant here. What? So if you were running DC Comics, actually, I mean, if you were running DC or Marvel, you know, like, because you brought up a good point as well, like Miles Morales.
I would run off of Green Lantern continuity. Green Lantern always stood true to the actual continuity from New 52 to Rebirth. It was always the same story, same timelines. I would run off their continuity and build off of that. This whole Hindenburg bullshit, no, fuck that. Nobody wants to rehash a whole new fucking thing of, like you said, the Batman versus the Joker. We know that. Everybody knows that. If you don't know that, we don't give a fuck because we don't want your money. The money that we want comes from me, you, John, and Brian. Our demographic.
Do you think that the metal, though, the DC metal kind of helped a little bit?
It was a good event.
Oh, yeah. It was a damn
successful
good
event.
event.
So,
It was a
Brian,
damn good event.
And I never felt overwhelmed by it like the Marvel events.
Brian,
where
so
it's just
Brian,
like,
let
tap
me go
out.
to you. Like, so if you were the head of DC Comics, I mean,
I'm taking it back to basics. Everything's going to go through Batman. Everything's going to go through Superman. Brian Michael Bendis is gone. And
Right.
and then you're going to have your team books, and I'm going to do away with all these, like Harley doesn't get her own book. Supergirl's not getting her own book. You're going to have Batman. You're going to have your Superman. You're going to have your Wonder Woman. You're going to have your Flash. You're going to have your Green Lantern. You're going to have your core members of the Justice League. And you're going to have your team book, right? You're going to have your Justice League book. Maybe even a JSA book. I don't know. So you have your team characters. You're going to have your first appearances are going to be coming from mainly Batman, because Batman just sells. Even though I prefer Superman over Batman, Batman sells. So he's going to be like your old school Marvel ASM. ASM introduced so many characters. There's so many first appearances in ASM because ASM was that moneymaker. Everybody's grabbing ASM. So they're going to get introduced to these new characters through ASM. DC doesn't really have that. I would make Batman my ASM, right? Most stuff is going to come through Batman and Superman, detective and action, but it's going to come through those guys. It's going to be your core people and in team books. But I'm not going to have all this, I'm not going to have all this nonsense where everybody's got their own book. Like Deathstroke is going to be the bad guy versus the Teen Titans. Yes, I'd have a Teen Titans book. Deathstroke is going to be the bad guy for the Teen Titans. I'm not going to make him nice. He's going to be ruthless. He's going to be that guy. He's going to be that dude. He's going to be big bad. He's not going to have a soft stroke. None of that. Your villains are going to be villains. Harley Quinn is going to be with the Joker, and she's going to be a bad guy. None of this, oh, sometimes I help out. Nah, man, forget that. Villains are villains. Good guys are good guys. No in between, wishy-washy, back to basics. And I would take it from there.
Wasn't sure what it was, but yeah, I kind of like you.
Yeah, it's probably the glasses, man.
And I like what DC does with the A cover and the B cover. Everybody. None of this 5 or 6 different variants, and nobody knows how much it costs till you get it into the LCES, and then they're like, oh, but this was a 1 in 200, so it's $285. Really, for a cover? Nah, I'm good. I end up passing, and it's like, if they would have put that in the previews, then I would have known, and I wouldn't have ordered it. You know what I mean? There's no ratio put down. Just have an A cover. I read the previews, but Marvel previews does not give you the ratio variance on 90% of those. They're not telling you what's a ratio. They just tell you who's doing what cover, but they don't tell you what number the cover is, if it's a regular price variant. They don't tell you anything. So you sit there and tell your LCS, I would like to get this Mike Zeck Punisher cover, and then it comes in, and they're like, oh, it's a 1 in 50 variant. It's $50. I'm sorry, man. I got to pass on that. I didn't know it was going to be that much. I just wanted the Mike Zeck cover, So, but I would bring DC Comics back to basics. I would, since they already killed Vertigo, I would still have Constantine and those guys. But I would go balls deep on the fucking Black Label. No pun intended to Batwang, but. I would go with the Black Label. That's going to be your new Vertigo, and you're going to have your edgy characters like Constantine and stuff over there, and they can cross over into the main universe, absolutely. And you're going to have on Black Label. I would also keep the Hill House, because I think that is something that is missing at Marvel that DC is doing well. I have friends. Shout out to Zuba. They like the more horror type stuff. And I think the Hill House, them adding that Hill House comics to the line over there, I think they're doing good. I've read some of them, and I'm not even a big horror spooky fan, but that Basket Full of Heads is off the chain. I mean, I'm loving it.
Well, Joe Hill is Stephen King's son.
So yeah, absolutely. But he doesn't want people to know that. So why do you keep saying that?
I like to say that because I like Stephen King, and
if he wanted to do that, he would have came out as, "Hey, I'm Stephen King's son. Buy my books."
Well, he doesn't want to be known as that.
I protest. I am
the king of the hill, basically. But my thought would be with DC, you have these multiverses, right? So like blow up the universe and pretty much wipe out all of the somewhat irrelevant characters and just have like 10 of the main characters on the earth, and all the other characters have disappeared, but they're on a different earth, right?
So basically you want to go cinematic, right?
Well, so you've got, like, let's say you got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman in this world, and they don't know what's going on. And then you take all, like, Booster Gold and all those characters like that. And
okay, first of all, don't ever fucking disrespect Booster Gold.
I'm just saying, though, I mean, do you think there's a possibility of doing something?
Well, yeah, there most definitely is for that. And then the CW just kind of demonstrated that when they did their crossover, because they took all of the cinematic universe, incorporated into the, like, because, okay, like, let's say when Justice League was first coming out, right? Everybody was bitching about Justice League because they wanted that fucking Flash to be Barry fucking Allen for the CW. And then when they did this whole crossover with the Infinite Crisis and all that shit, dude, they even incorporated Batman 1989 with that shit, man. Like they enveloped it. And when it came down to the actual Flash, from like you had what was it, Ezreal Miller or whatever his name was, from the Justice League movie, he phased out, and Barry Allen took in from the CW. So they had that. It came in. John Diggle, now we all know he is John fucking Stewart for the Green Lantern Corps. So yeah, they did do that, and it was awesome.
Can I get a spoiler alert?
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Oh my god, I got
Oh, it's past 2 weeks, man. We got a 2-week rule on spoilers.
I didn't see any of that.
He's well into the no.
La 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 la.
Okay.
Anyways, that shit was awesome, Brian. You should have saw that shit, man. Fucking, we had like, dude, like when they went 1989 Batman, they had like, what was it? What's his name, man? Fucking, I forgot. Anyway, when like the very first episode, when you watch that Infinity Crisis, you will see there's a certain character from 1989 Batman, and you're just like, oh, we're going here. Okay, this is awesome. This is the best. It is.
Booster Gold on Smallville, yo.
No.
Booster Gold on Smallville.
Honestly, when they did the last one and they showed Superman, and when they first went into it and they had that Smallville music, I was like, oh shit, we're doing this. We're going here. This is fucking awesome. They don't go there. But what, you son of a bitch. But what they do is they do that 1989 Batman with what's his Alexander Knox. He is in the very first episode of that Infinity Crisis for the CW, and when you see him, he's the very first one. When you see him, and then it all comes in, and you see what they're doing, you're like, holy shit, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. This is great. And then what ties it up is it's the Barry Allen Flash from the CW meets Ezreal Miller from the Justice League Flash. And then he gets phased out. Barry Allen is good. We got one fucking solid timeline. It's fucking great. It's fucking awesome. We all get to fuck Todd in the ass. It's fucking fabulous.
Now, I mean, you
we're fucking you in the ass.
That's okay. I'll make sure to bring some extra Vaseline with me, I guess. I don't know. So, I mean, you make
Okay,
points like Marvel.
I hate your quick wit sometimes, man. You fuck up my jokes.
I think Marvel has had so much success with their movies, it might have helped their comic industry, right? And DC, on the other hand, they have great TV shows. Their movies have not been as successful.
Their anime is good too, though.
I mean, I have enjoyed, like, John and I have talked about Shazam and how much we enjoy Shazam. And obviously we know Shazam enjoys Shazam. And Brian loves Aquaman. I know that for a fact.
The movie?
It was good, right, Brian?
I enjoyed it. I didn't see Shazam yet, but I'm probably gonna buy it.
Really,
as soon as I get a $5 coupon for Best Buy, I'll buy it.
So, like,
Yeah.
so John, I mean, do you think like better DC movies would make for better?
Nuts, man! $5 coupon.
Better DC movies would certainly go a long way.
And it doesn't go anymore fucking longer than fucking an Aquaman or Shazam.
Well, but what I'm saying though is give us a continuity in those movies could help their bottom line at DC overall. Again, I think their marketing is all backwards still. Between the fact that they market it the wrong way, where they're advertising the shows and the movies in the comics as opposed to marketing the comics in the shows and the movies, the other thing that they don't do very well is they don't cooperate with LCSs very well. It's almost predatory on their practices are almost predatory on LCSs.
No, that's not almost. They are.
Well, I'm trying to be conservative about it. I'm not trying to straight up call them out and be like, y'all are trying to run us into the ground. But yeah, they are. And there's a reason why there are many LCSs that are going straight up back issue only. They don't mess with Diamond. All they do is
Yeah.
go out and they
You got a point, man. Yeah.
procure collections, and that's all they do. They don't mess with any of the new stuff unless if it comes in a collection, and then they sell it for whatever market value is, and they don't have to worry about people not getting their pull list because they were shorted by Diamond or Diamond destroyed half of their shipment in shipping. They don't have to mess with that. But
If it all went away, man, I'd be okay with just digging in back issues.
look,
There's so much out there already that I could go on and on. I'll never have everything.
except for
Oh, but
Donny
you could.
Cates' run on
Big
Venom.
glitter.
That's basic, and picking up the occasional Immortal Hulk. That's really all the new books that I've been getting, and they're sporadic. Most of what I get anymore, it is this. That's what I'm always digging, and this obviously wasn't a dollar bin
I
thing.
got to dig it out, but I have that statue.
You know,
Dude, it's
you do make a good point just by the books that you like and you pick out. I mean, I think Donny Cates is doing it the right way. I think you should, and I know Brian's not the biggest Donny Cates fan, but the one thing that I like about Donny Cates, John, you've referenced before that he goes back to the past, but I also like the fact that he creates new, interesting things like Cosmic Ghost Rider, like the Venom story where he's got Eddie Brock's son. I think that Donnie gets it more than most people. Do any of you guys?
The you have to have a bit of nostalgia because, like what Chris has been saying all night, which is we're the demographic, we're the guys that are actually putting money in your pocket. You better give us at least some nostalgic feeling and reminiscent of what we were seeing in the 90s. Again, I think that's what somebody like Rob Liefeld has his current career based solely around.
Let me just
You
say,
know, it's fun, but it's funny that you bring up Donny Cates, right? Because there's in the Cosmic Ghost Rider, because there was it was last year around this time. Me and Donnie, I had him signing some books for me, and then one of the ones that he ran across, because I had him sign like the first of it was like the appearance of Cosmic Ghost Rider, but there was one in particular because Donny Cates is not just a writer; he is a collector. He was looking at one of my books and he was like, dude, he's like, we need to call CGC over here. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because you have a miscut, which is a misprint. He goes, I'm going to sign this. And I go, well, hold on. I go, first of all, I don't believe in CGC. And I don't want to have some, it's like me sending my book to fucking to Todd. I'm like, hey, I need you to grade this.
What do you think of this?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do
don't
it for less than
that.
CGC.
I get it.
I'm all raw copies because honestly, when I die, I don't give a fuck. You can grade it, you can fucking sell it. I don't give a shit. When I'm dead, it's fucking gone. But he's like, no, he's like, this is a very rare comic. He's like, you need to have this graded. And I had to tell him, I'm like, dude, I'm not that type of collector. Just sign it for me and then we're cool. We'll have a discussion and that's it. But Donny Cates, he's not only a writer, but he is also a collector too, because he took the time to I'm not exaggerating. He really, really, really pressured me to get my shit graded because he was like, dude, this shit is cut wrong. He's like, this is an error. This is that. I'm like, that's cool. I appreciate that, but I'm not in it for that. I'm here. I love your writing. I think you wrote a good story. Just sign it. It's going to go into a fucking Mylar and a top loader, and we're done. But even after I said that, he still pressed the issue.
Yo,
But Donny Cates, top-notch motherfucker, man, because he pressured me for that. I don't want to say pressured me. But he was like adamant about it because I can see he was a collector.
Donald writes, Cates is a draw because speculators know he will give them something. Yeah, same for readers too. Like the readers know he's going to give you something. He's going to give you
Yeah.
something.
Well, you know,
Fo-
the thing
Follow his Twitter.
the thing that I love about Donny Cates, and it kind of harkens back to when you look at the earlier runs of like Spider-Man and stuff where they're creating new characters, right? And Donnie takes a story and then he creates new characters, and they're interesting characters, and they're so interesting that they end up getting books, right? Like Cosmic Ghost Rider. And Chris, if Donnie Cates tells you to freaking get a book graded, I'm going to tell Rob Liefeld to slap you for not getting it graded, man. Come on. If Jack Kirby said to you, or Stan Lee said to you, dude,
I will cock slap every one of those guys.
It's gonna be a tag team match.
I'll still cock slap him. I might miss, but I'll still cock slap him or try. No, but I mean, that's the beauty of collecting, though, right? Because some people like that graded 9.8 signature thing. I'm not about that. I'm not gonna send my book into some. Okay, for one thing, when I do take my books in to get them signed, I don't need to send them to some other company to verify that they were signed, because I don't sell them. They will be right here. If anything, I give them away as Bishop. Bishop was a very good recipient of some of those Donny Cates ones. But I don't do that, man. I'm not that guy. I tried to be that guy, that flipper and all that shit, but I'm just not that guy. If I take you to you sign it. If I pay $5, $10, whatever, it's for me. Oh, well, you need to have it graded. No, I do not, because I was there. I saw you. I don't need to have somebody fucking.
He was just
It's
looking
more
out,
about the
though,
experience.
man. He was just looking out for you. You know.
No. Yeah, no. He was, because he didn't know what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm cool. You know, I go.
Right.
This is just it was one copy, and then I run, but I run into that a lot though, where it's like, because it's different now. Okay, where I was just the regular guy that just got shit signed. Now people. I'm not trying to like inflate my boat or anything, but people recognize me. Like, holy shit, you're Shazam for fucking Collector's Corner. Oh, you want this, you want that, you want the mark, let's get it graded. And I'm like, no, I'm not that guy. Just
Right.
sign it and let's just move on.
You're in it the same way that I am, to an extent of the experience of meeting and greeting, getting to shake their hand, the story of being able to share that story with somebody that, hey, I met so-and-so, I got this graded, or not graded, but I got this autograph, I've got a good story about how that all transpired, is actually more important than the actual possession of the autograph, which is what I
Exactly.
That's where I am, and that's one reason why. Look, would I have loved to have had a Stan Lee autograph a book for me before he passed away? Yes. Am I interested in a Stan Lee autograph at this point? Only if it is like the cheapest of cheap, so that I can actually say that I own one. But it will never mean as much to me as if I had been able to pay my money, walk up to Stan Lee, shake his hand, and say, "Sir, thank you."
It's all about
so
that
much.
hangout, man. It's all about that interaction. I feel the same way. When I find out that certain people aren't going to be able to make it down to Orlando for MegaCon, I'll hit them up on Messenger, like, oh, that sucks or whatever, and they're like, yeah, well, you can if you send the book, I'm going to be at this con, so if you send the books to them, it's like, nah, it's okay, man. I'll be patient. I'm going to wait for you, because I like that little hangout. I like to see you. You know what I mean? I like to see you. We give some daps.
Let me hit you with the financial manager perspective here, okay? You all got kids, right? So, like, and you know what happens to comic.
You want to trade for dependents?
You know what happens to comic book collections when you pass away, right? They go to a comic book shop and they get dealt for like nothing, right? So I am a fan of grading, and one of the reasons is because I could tell my wife, see this box right here with these books in hard plastic. do not give these to Dave's Comics for $1 a piece. Right? These are worth something. Everything else, get rid of. And so, I mean, that's my one argument for grading, especially with old farts like you guys.
I do enjoy
How
my
are you
yellow
the
label.
same age as me?
Are we? I was born in 77.
I was born in 78.
Oh, you old. Oh,
Oh, 78, boy. 78,
Oh,
78.
You
oh,
guys feel
you
like sharing your
old.
social security numbers and like your mother's maiden name at this
No,
point too?
all I need
Because
to,
I can
all I
write
need,
all that stuff down.
all
You
I
class-
need is your
you're
FICO
a
score,
77
John.
guy.
Shazam, you class
month?
of 97 or
I am.
96?
9-6.
What month?
Who,
is
me?
77?
Shazam, you
No.
97 or 96?
I need to know if I'm the
My
old.
class?
Yeah.
96, baby.
Oh man, I failed kindergarten.
That's right. So I need all of your fucking FICO scores, all your mother's maiden names. That
Yeah.
shit. If we
That's
wanted
what I'm
to
saying, man.
ruin friends.
That's what I'm saying. You guys all talking like, this is,
Which is
and to a
why I
certain
don't
extent-
give a shit, because it's all of my collection, and
Well-
if anybody, Todd knows what my collection is. If it goes to anybody, I would much rather it go to you guys for fucking for pennies, because I'm dead. I don't give a shit.
Well, Donald in the Facebook comments.
I have a pension.
saying that-
I'm a county worker. I
Oh,
have
yeah, you're
property.
set.
My
You're a
family
government
is
worker in
cool.
California. You're set, dude.
Oh no, oh, boy, you didn't gotta say California.
So Donald says that when he dies, they're going to build a pyre with his comic books and send him off in style, which is pretty
Yeah, on my
hilarious.
dollar
I'd be
bin
okay
shit
with
they
that.
will.
Yeah, which Donald is this? Is this Donald Lamoureux?
More- Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he at? I thought he was gonna join us on this thing.
Yeah. Donald's
At
got
some
so much
point,
stuff.
Later, Augie.
Dude, Donald's got some awesome fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shit and some fucking Power Ranger shit. Where is he?
He went cam on us.
He's in the chat. He's in the chat.
He's in the chat, yeah, which is, that
Bag. I'm just kidding,
sometimes
Don.
that's good enough,
Love you, man.
But he's got an open invitation too. If he wants to join us at some point, he can absolutely. There's a bunch of dudes and ladies out there that they want to join us. They got open invitations, and they
Hey,
know.
if Casey ever wants to join me, man, she better bring a box of wine. That's all I gotta say. That's what I want.
I imagine she's going to bring a box of wine just to her house, not to yours.
No,
Well,
man. We're
Casey,
going.
that works.
Hey, that's what, dude. You fucking fags need to go to tickets were on sale, man. We got fucking Sworn Fest going on. I have been to many of the cons, all right, and they are all cool. Nothing compares to when I went a year ago over to Sworn Fest. Sworn Fest is very, very small. Just a few artists. You have not partied. You have not fucking chilled. You have not had an experience any greater than that. Tickets went on sale. They're only $40 fucking bucks. You get your fucking plane tickets. You get your whatever the hell it is hotel you get. You get hotels for those $40 fucking bucks. Get that shit. When the year that it happened, I almost didn't go. Troy Hudson told me, if you do not go, you will regret it. So I was like, fuck it. I had to go because I had some union shit going on, whatever it was. I went. I guarantee you, and I told you and fucking Bishop Todd that you should have went. This is the day to fucking redeem yourself.
Yo. So, look.
And no. If you're gonna go, get your fucking tickets. I don't give a fuck if it's at a hotel close to it. I will pick you up.
Start a GoFund, Todd.
You will net. No. You will net. The ticket is $40 fucking bucks, man.
Yo.
Hotels, like when me and my wife went, the hotel was like $bucks, and we got one like 2 miles away. We took an Uber there. It was great. If you guys do not go, it's not a Comic Con. This is something totally fucking different, but it's the artist that you love. Corey's really trying to work on
Elitist.
trying to get Art Germ to go there. But even if not, you got David Harrigan, you got fucking Witchman, you got Yo-Yo, everybody that we know that's family on the Collector's Corner is gonna be there. Fucking go. Todd, if you don't go, I swear to God, I will drive all the way to your house and I will give you the atomic fucking wedgie.
Well, you know,
It,
that,
it,
that might be
it
worth it.
really is that awesome.
Let me just
It's
say that
cool, man.
I went to Vegas for a bachelor party during the porn.
No, Vegas sucks. Swarmfest.
Pretty good. But let me so for the YouTube purpose, let's wrap this one up. And then we could talk some more. If anybody has to drop off, they could drop off. So let's
I'm
have
gonna go
final
soon.
thoughts. We had talked about Punchline and DC Comics and stuff.
We did.
And so let me I'll start. Let's go with Brian first, then Shazam, then John, and then I'll wrap it up. So Brian, your final thoughts on whatever we talked about.
I got nothing. No, just the whole Punchline thing is if you want to bring it back to that, just I don't think I think Punchline is cool. I think it's cooler when Art Germ does it. Yes. That's the one I seriously like. If I don't get a copy of that Art Germ Punchline cover, I'm gonna be upset. So, but yeah, man. As far as DC goes, I think it's a sinking ship. It's got a lot of holes in it. Is it going to go away forever? I don't think so. Is Marvel going to be publishing your DC comics? I really don't think so. Is there going to be big changes? Oh yeah. Is it going to be drastic changes? Oh yeah, I think so. Is 5G going to be a disaster? Oh yes, I think so. And then I think like depending on what happens after that, maybe something Phoenix can rise out of the rubble, so to speak. And you guys might be right on your point about individual monthly floppies going away and it just going to like a graphic novel or prestige style format to get your books. And don't forget to hit up my boy over here for the crew.
I love you, brother. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast or our YouTube show too. We need as many subscribers as possible. Shazam, you're up next, brother. Your final thoughts.
All right, final thoughts as far as that whole new like 5G shit. I think it was a bullshit. This Punchline character, she ain't gonna last, man. I mean, it's DC's last effort to secure their jobs with AT&T. That ain't gonna go. Will it go to Marvel? Honestly, as a DC fan and a comic book fan, we would really only hope for that because Marvel Comics in itself is not selling DC fucking like 14-1 on that one. But everything else, I mean, it's like we know it. We don't want to see it anymore. So as far as that's concerned, other than that, if you don't buy the crew, you're a fucking communist.
I love you too, brother. And Chris Shazam Silva makes his first full appearance, and Brian Camilli, and Jean-Luc Reynolds.
This right here will be my 180. Oh, my 181. My 180 was the very first this year.
Dude, I've got less final thoughts than these other guys do. I've got two things: like, share, and subscribe to the Comic Book Theater channel. It absolutely does help us out. If you're watching on YouTube, find us over on Facebook in the group. It helps get stuff going. For us, the best thing you can do for the show itself is be interactive with us whenever we're doing the live stream on Facebook. Get in, throw some questions out there, that kind of thing. And then, yes, Smitty. Dude, Smitty's been killing it lately, man. But lastly man, you got to support the crew. You got to. Very close to being funded. I would really like before the end of the night through the Facebook feed that it get fully funded. Super close. That way Todd can start worrying about stretch goals and stuff like that, because I'm still kind of keeping my fingers crossed that I have another lapel pin to add to my collection. So that's all I got, man.
And this is my final thoughts, and I want to piggyback off of what John said. Please subscribe if you see this on YouTube. Sometimes when we make content and we get like 10 views, it's really hard to sit and spend 2 hours trying to make videos that are cool. So, but if you subscribe, you're not going to get anything too crazy from us. We are pretty cool. As far as the Punchline thing goes, I missed out on Punchline, but the one thing that I always fall back on is there are so many back first appearances in books that I want to get, that if I don't spend $50 on Punchline, I'll spend $50 and get some other character's book that I really want. There's so many first appearances. Don't stress out about it. It does suck because, you know, when you hear that DC is struggling a bit, it does suck that these books aren't available and they're missing out on this cash. But that's all I have. Definitely, please check out The Crew. It's a fun book. I like it. I wrote it. I laugh at it. But we also got some great artists, and 3 of them, this is their first cover, and they will be really appreciative if they're holding the cover that they did in their hands. And you can think to yourself, like, you'll be getting comic books, but you can also have that feel-good feeling of knowing that you helped 3 other people get their first comic book covers. So that's all I have, everybody. So I'm going to say peace out.
One more
Better
thing
be
I want
good
to
at
add
it.
to that.
Just, all right, let's hear Columbo.
No, that was final thoughts. You don't get another one. No. I
Just
revoke.
one more thing. Just one more thing.
Just
If he
one
tied
more.
his shoelaces together, and maybe he didn't kill himself. Fucking Columbo. Oh my God, you just showed your fucking age right there. Man.
Bye.
Ah.